from, and we opened our flagship location in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And yeah, the concept is very simple. It's just for the primary concept is really just our cones of fries, 3 sizes, small, medium, or large, and they're Belgian fries.
Welcome to The Bottom Line, the podcast that brings you real stories behind real restaurants. In each episode, we explore the decisions, systems, and stories behind the most successful restaurants out there in the market. No fluff, no hype. Just real operators, real challenges, and real advice from people who know how to get results. Let's get to the bottom line.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me in today's The Bottom Line podcast, the real stories behind restaurateurs. I'm your host, Naki Soyturk, and joining me today is a young and super successful entrepreneur, Annalee. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Annalee is the founder and the operator behind Bel Fries in New York City. And congratulations to you, Annalee. You graduated from Cornell, right? Cornell Hospitality?
Yes, in 2021.
I hosted Frit Castellucci, who also graduated from Cornell, and 2 years after he graduated, he started his own super successful hospitality empire. And he's a few years senior than you, but there must be something in the water in Cornell that you guys are coming out right off the gate and, swinging and opening your successful concepts, creating something from scratch and being super successful in it.
Yeah, it's a great network there. A lot of really, really smart, successful people.
Awesome. Could you please talk to us about Bel Fries, how you came up with the concept, what it is, and why people love it so much?
Yeah, so I've always had a very entrepreneurial mindset, and I love selling things, specifically simple food items. And I love hospitality. And so we kind of had the idea, all over Europe, frit shops are very popular, just selling cones of fries with an array of many artisanal sauces. And I said, if it's so popular in Europe, why has no one ever done this in America? Like, why are there not frit shops on every corner?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where the idea came from. And we opened our flagship location in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And yeah, the concept is very simple. It's just for the primary concept is really just our cones of fries, 3 sizes, small, medium, or large. And they're Belgian fries. So that means they're thicker cut, they're twice fried, they're served in cones and paired with we have 16 artisanal sauces that we pair them with. And the reason that they're Belgian fries is and the reason that our name is Bel Fries is because fries actually originated in Belgium and not France. So we're renaming French fries to Bel Fries.
That's awesome. I've been to those frit shops in Netherlands. Yeah.
Yes.
And then I asked the guy, do you have mustard? And he said they have 12 sauces over there, but usually they are a combination of mayo and ketchup. Then I asked him do you have mustard? And he said, no, like a cheese sauce or something. And he said, no, go to America. Maybe he was talking about, this is maybe 15 years ago I'm talking about.
Okay. So
you basically took this incredible culinary innovation and then made it American.
Yeah. So as you were saying, in Europe, all the sauces are mainly the base is mayo, and they don't have just a classic cheese sauce. So bringing the concept to America, we were trying to kind of find the in-between between mayo-based sauces as well as having your classic mustard and cheese sauce, and kind of finding the in-between where Americans and locals could enjoy the flavor.
And I want to show, what we are talking about here. Okay, there we go. So, wow, it looks yummy. Here is with the cheese. Is it a jalapeno?
Yeah, those are jalapenos and onion.
And one of those 16 sauces. People, wow. A lot of people having great fun over here. Okay, that looks great. And you have 6 locations. Some of them are pop-ups, food trucks and pop-ups. Some of which are physical locations. And in such a short period of time, 4.6 stars and 858 reviews. How old is this concept?
We started about 5 years ago now.
5 years. You have been You've been in the public eye a lot, a lot of podcasts, newspapers, and all that. I think I'm getting a bit ahead of myself because I want to learn a lot about, how did it first start after you developed the concept. But I would love to learn, how did you achieve to tell your stories so clearly in so many different media?
I've actually never been asked that question before. I think that I feel confident in my company and my product and the concept and I know it so well, every single detail about it, that I feel confident and comfortable sharing the story. And there's not really anything that I struggle to explain or, share with other people because I know it so well that it just kind of comes naturally to me.
And how did you start being on media? Like, what is the learning opportunity for the restaurateurs who are listening to this? Like, how can they show their restaurant who they are?
Yeah, I think that at least in my experience, it's helped a lot that I am a young female entrepreneur because it's kind of out of the norm and people are attracted to hearing that story that is out of the norm. And also, but I've also put myself out there in that, I know people are interested in hearing about the story and how we started and, what we're doing and how we're expanding. So I've started doing vlogs on Instagram and TikTok and, really seeing how that can get better engagement and views from an outsider's perspective.
Great. You graduated from Cornell, and how long did it take you to open the first location?
It took about like a year or two, I would say.
Was it a pop-up at first, the first location?
No,
or a physical store?
The first location was our physical store. And then interestingly, and it's usually the opposite, but the overhead is so high, the rent is so high. And, our concept at the core is like a grab and go snack. We're not really a meal. So it was hard to generate enough revenue just selling like our grab and go cone of fries with a brick and mortar store. So then at our flagship location, which is a brick and mortar, added more of like meal items. We added chicken, we added mini corn dogs, mozzarella sticks, things like that. So people could actually start coming to us as more of like a lunch or a dinner. And then from there, I really wanted to keep our concept simple and I didn't want to, move away from our classic just cone of fries because I think that the beauty of Bel Fries is the simplicity of it. And so I started doing food trucks and pop-up locations where I could have a more simplified menu and just offer, our cone of fries or a cone of popcorn chicken and 5 of our sauces and be successful in that with the lower overhead. And that concept works in places where people are just, walking and shopping, in markets, at, festivals where we have our food trucks, at shopping centers, things like that, where people are just walking, shopping, and want to walk with their cone of fries.
Of course. And it's New York after all, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
This is also a great food for the late night crowd, right?
Yes. At our brick-and-mortar store in the Lower East Side, we have found that the bulk of our business is between like 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. on weekend nights. Because the area is really packed with so many bars. So after people come out of the bars or they're drinking or whatever it is, it's kind of acts as like a munchy spot in that area. Whereas at our other locations, it's more of a daytime snack.
Could you talk to us about the operations? My understanding is that the first brick and mortar location, the Commissary, these fries go through many different processes. Could you talk to us about and the sauces, right? The sauces are the secret sauce in making all of this even more appealing and more delicious.
Yeah, so basically our Lower East Side location acts as our commissary where we get, because it's our only location with a kitchen. So that's where we get all of our deliveries. That's where we make all of our sauce. And then everything from that location gets distributed to our other pop-up locations and food truck locations. And even like our mall location, it's a kiosk in the mall. It's literally 120 square feet, like 10 by 12. There's definitely not a kitchen in there. It's just for service. We use like all of our storage space, and where we make all of our sauce is at the Brick-and-Mortar in the center of Manhattan.
Amazing. People can book the food trucks
Yeah.
from the website.
Yes.
What's the process for that? Here, bel-fries.com over here, then they can, when they go to the website, they can book the food truck. What kind of a
actually,
clientele?
if you click that X on the bottom, because I'm not really on the bottom. If you click book food truck right there at the top, it'll take you down to here. And this is where you could submit, what event you want us for, and I would get back to you in literally like 24 hours. This food cart has been extremely popular and extremely profitable. I would say it was definitely one of the best investments I ever made. And I'm thinking about getting a second one when if and when the demand is there. But right now we're almost fully booked up for the entire summer. And we bring it out. If it's a private event, we do mostly private events. But sometimes we'll do, different concerts and festivals where there's a huge amount of demand and we're just selling out of the cart. And it's been an incredible source of not only income, but exposure.
Amazing.
Being able to pop up in different locations.
If I were to summarize our conversation for the audience, it started as the European, pommes frites, but you made it with the amazing sauces. Then you provided an American twist to it. These are big fries. They are double fried. And the production is in the Commissary in the first location. First adaptation was to make this profitable in New York, and the sauces, second adaptation, the pop-ups, you realize that overhead is a problem, and then the pop-ups, and then the food truck itself is also another adaptation. Another adaptation is to turn this into a meal by the virtue of the popcorn chicken. And I'm missing one more thing, I think. There's popcorn chicken, the fries.
We have like mozzarella sticks and mini
mozzarella sticks
and a chicken sandwich at our flagship location.
And how do you do the distribution?
I don't really want to include those as we scale. I really, my whole concept is keeping it as simple as it possibly can be.
As simple as it possibly
not only does it make it easier and faster for customers to order, but also makes my operation simpler as we scale to more locations.
100%. What has been the challenges for you, like growing this into 6 locations? What has been the learning?
Yeah, I would say one thing that has been a challenge for me is cash flow, because, I had a problem this past year where I opened 2 locations at once, and obviously opening locations is very expensive, and I wasn't generating revenue from the first location in order to pay for the next one. And so I spent too much money up front without having that income coming in, which obviously is a problem. So I learned there's kind of like a happy medium with, you can't scale too quickly because you'll run out of cash flow. But at the same time, you don't ever want to be stagnant with where you are. And then another challenge I've had is finding a balance between it within my own time management and responsibilities is finding new locations and opening new locations while also keeping our current locations operationally sound and profitable.
Of course, because you are also doing this, right? Which is telling your stories. You train the team, find the locations, you run the business, a million things all at once. What kind of a help support system did you create to help you grow and maintain the standards?
I built in a support system recently because I'm looking to franchise into malls right now. That's the future of, how I want to scale the company. And I really need to put my energy and time into that if I want to grow this to hundreds of locations, which is my vision. And so I recently hired a director of operations who is in charge of keeping all of our current locations profitable and managing the day-to-day operations and being the first point of contact for our staff and our location managers instead of me dealing with those problems that happen every single day. And so that I'm more able to focus on the future.
The strategic side of it.
Yeah, the strategic side, the future of the company. If we want to franchise, if we want to raise money, whatever it is. Yeah, I definitely needed someone to run the operation side of me to allow me to have, an open mind and schedule to grow the company.
100%. And are you planning on growing organically as well on top of the franchising?
Yeah, so I want to do franchising for kiosks in malls. I think that, the concept is beyond incredible.
Yeah.
Hopefully my plan is to be the new Auntie Anne's in malls. So, cause we're your classic grab and go snack. It's an impulse buy. It's a sensory experience. So, instead of going into a mall and grabbing your cup of soft pretzels, you go into a mall and you grab your cone of fries and you continue walking and shopping.
And it's healthier too, right?
Sorry?
It's healthier than those alternatives, right?
I mean, yeah, you could say potatoes are a vegetable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it healthy.
Healthier. Healthier.
Yeah, we can go with that. I don't brand us as a healthy concept. I brand us as more of like a happy concept. It is like, kind of your cheat snack or your happy part of the day where you grab your cone of fries and you enjoy it with whoever you want. But so yeah, I think that it's hard to find quick grab and go food these days that's not processed. And yeah, obviously like you really don't have a concept or a successful company without an incredible product behind it. And that's the first thing that you have to perfect. Yeah. And I think that people gravitate towards our fries for a reason.
Everybody loves fries, right?
Yeah. You really can't go wrong. Locals, tourists, any demographic, everyone loves fries.
16 sauces?
16 sauces, yeah.
So cash flow, we talked about cash flow, and what did you learn that the audience can take away from that?
I learned that I have to open one location at a time. And yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of problems with biting off way more than I can chew because I've kind of always had the mindset, like take it and then figure it out. But sometimes that doesn't always work out because you can't handle it all at once. So you really have to scale at a steady pace and don't do too much all at once, but like continue growing no matter.
You hired the director of operations. What are some of the systems and processes that have been implemented by you, by that director of operations that you wished like you had it maybe a year or two ago?
Yeah. So for example, we just opened a location on the High Line last week and he was in charge of hiring everyone, training everyone, setting up systems there, making sure that our delivery schedule is all set up, inventory is correct. And that really allowed me to like focus on other things. honestly, what I was focusing on when he was doing that was bringing in more food cart events for the rest of the whole summer. So now we have a schedule. Oh, and I actually was training the food cart manager that just started. So now we have a full schedule for the food cart
Amazing.
manager that can handle all those for the food cart. And then my director of operations was working on the other location, and I wouldn't have been able to do both at the same time.
Finding the people who can grow this business with you is, I think we will all agree, is the smart thing to do, isn't it?
Exactly. There's a quote I heard recently. It's, whatever it takes, like, invest in your best people. 'Cause you really, without good people on your team, it's really hard to grow.
A single person at the right time in the right place can change the direction.
100%.
Can change the fortunes. And Annalee, what would you say the biggest challenge right now with Bel Fries, and how are you attacking that challenge?
I think that I mentioned this earlier, but still finding a balance of keeping my current locations profitable and operations streamlined while also trying to scale the company. And not only just trying to scale the company, but deciding what direction to take the company. Like, should I open more food carts? Should I start franchising? Should I be doing it all corporate owned? Should I be doing malls? Should I be doing more brick and mortars? Like, kind of what direction to take it. Should I be doing my sauces as CPG into grocery stores? Like, there's so many different paths, and just trying to figure out which way to go.
Amazing. What information do you use to manage the restaurants? Do you look at like their revenue figures? Do you look at their gross profits, or do you look at their net incomes? What has been the most important metric for you?
Sales is always number one. That's for sure. Cause you can't have good labor numbers or good cost of good numbers without high sales. And so I guess in terms of like budgeting, predict what a location will do, in sales for that month, and then kind of work backwards and say, okay, if the location's going to do X amount, based on that, I want my labor to be 25%. And then that's that amount, 25% of the predicted sales is my labor budget. Same goes for cost of goods. My budget for that's also 25%. And then I try to keep rent around like 10 to 15%, which is, all of these numbers are like my goals, but obviously it's easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hear you. It ain't easy running restaurants in New York. I opened 2 locations in New York. One was, we had one steakhouse. We opened a fast casual burger concept. Then we opened another steakhouse, not too far from in the meatpacking district, not too far from the location. And by the way, that opened in May 15th, right? The last location.
Yeah, I opened May 15th.
And I appreciate you doing this in May 21st. I appreciate you.
This is a great example of how my director of operations has helped me not have to be there every single day, and I'm able to do things like this and create more exposure for the company.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to share with the group, Annalee?
Yeah, jump in the swimming pool and then learn how to swim.
Yeah. You've done it. I told you this, like, I hosted Fred Castellucci, who is an alumni of Cornell Hospitality. Whatever they are doing over there, they must be doing it right, whether it's in the air or in the water or with the teachers. Think about how many millions of Americans have been to Europe, ate pommes frites, and, are either the first or one of the first to open it. But opening it is one challenge, but adjusting it to the taste, to the local cuisine, and adjusting the product market fit, tailoring the sauces, making them premium, and then the popcorn chicken and the others. Because each one of these is basically, I'm sure, like, it took like significant time for you to conceptualize, and a lot of sleepless nights, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, morphing the product is one thing, and then also my company is always morphing itself into one location's doing better here, one location's not doing well here. Maybe we should go in this direction. This product is doing better than this product. Maybe we should do more of that. It's always morphing and it's always changing, and it takes a different path, pretty consistently, which I think is not something that I expected, but I realized is normal in business.
Absolutely. And I love that you are thinking about the next direction, thinking about all these different locations, ideas for different locations, which way to go. I guess it takes a special kind of a person to start something like this. And that person wants to see this journey to the end, to see like what their creation is going to come to, isn't it? Because like very soon you could be super comfortable, right? And I do agree with you, like that franchising this in the malls, again, I find it healthier. Maybe that's just me when I wanna eat the delicious product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel very strongly about the mall concept, and its success in franchising. I mean, the cost of entry for a kiosk is really low, and we've been using ventless fryers at the mall, so we don't need a hood above it, which a kiosk in the mall, the rent for a kiosk in the mall is so much cheaper than like an inline location. And we're able to do that with the ventless fryer, and, the low cost of product. You really only need one person working. Because the menu is so simple, it takes like 15 minutes to even train someone. It's a really scalable concept. And I've been speaking with a lot of people in the franchise industry that are going to, kind of help me find the right operators for franchising.
Given the enormous trajectory that, you have achieved in the last few years, how important was mentors for you? Like people who guide you, who give you their 2 cents?
Really important. Really important. It's hard, I think, to find good mentors or people that you really connect with. I think honestly, I've only found like 1 or 2 mentors that truly believe in me and see the vision in the exact light that I see it. And it's really helpful for me to bounce ideas off of them and kind of figure out like what makes sense and what doesn't, and just talking through things. It's been unbelievably helpful. And I definitely think I wouldn't be where I am today without those mentors.
And how would you recommend people to find these mentors to help them navigate the market? Because marketplace is changing drastically, and if we needed 3 skills on our belt yesterday, like we need 10 today.
Ways to find mentors, I would say talk to everyone and anyone. And, just through talking to people and meeting people, you're going to eventually find someone that you really connect with and someone that can really help you formulate your ideas and make them come to life. And it's hard to find, but if you talk to enough people and you meet enough people, you're gonna find that. So.
Amazing. So one last question I have, Annalee, is this is a great concept, but this is my Shark Tank question. I think Mr. Wonderful asked these questions. How are you going to prevent people from, copying the concept, the success of your
copying the concept? I would say I got to do it first. And that's kind of why I have like a fire under me to scale pretty quickly, is because I don't want someone out there seeing my concept and trying to do the same thing. And if I do it first, then I'm kind of like, everyone will know me. Or, sorry, not me, but, everyone will know Bel Fries.
I know.
Rather than the secondary or the third person to come out with the same idea.
And I think you have done, as it goes to the first part of the conversation, you have done an amazing job, going out into the market with your story, with Bel Fries and all that. That creates a barrier for people to cross, because I think you have done everything you can to tell Bel Fries' story and differentiate it from any kind of newcomers. It's all on the internet. It's all out there. Everything that you have put, all these interviews that you have done, right? And that certifies that you were the first.
Yeah. I'm curious, how did you find us?
A lot of research. We do a lot of research, and we find brands that have a following and very good reviews, like above average reviews. 4.1 isn't going to cut it to get into our show, because we are looking for those like extraordinary people who can tell a different story, like things that other people can learn from. I mean, anybody can anything from anyone, right? But we are looking for those like entrepreneurs who are different and who have something to offer to the audience. And my first priority in life is helping others. But by telling your story, you are helping somebody listening to this. Maybe you are encouraging them to tell their own story. Tell it strongly. That's going to defend their own intellectual property and their brand to some extent. You might be giving somebody the courage to start this, but starting isn't enough. Working tooth and nail isn't enough. You adjusted your concept multiple times over, and learning from people, from your guests, from your customers and everybody. All of these things are like, because we are restaurateurs, we don't really see, we don't understand up until, our stories on the TV. I don't think we appreciate this, like how rare these qualities are.
And all the time. It's been super helpful.
You have a lot to teach others. And that's why that's how we choose our guests.
Beautiful. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your time, and thanks for coming to us 6 days after your last opening. I really appreciate. I appreciate your director of operations for allowing us this opportunity.
Exactly. I'll let him know.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Annalee. It's been a pleasure having you. Congratulations on your huge success.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to The Bottom Line. If you found value in today's conversation, make sure you follow, share, and leave a review. Have a question or need a professional's opinion? Then be sure you reach out using the links in the show notes below. New episodes come out every other week, and until then, we will see you next time.